You are now watching Maine Wire TV with your host, Tom Shattuck, featuring Maine Wire Editor-in-Chief Steve Robinson and the indispensable John Featherston.
All right, with us today, Graham Pollard and John Featherston. I am Tom Shattuck. Steve is not with us today. Steve shot off a terse text today saying, I'm going to be out of state at the MZTRP DHT. I've looked the thing up. I have no idea what it is. I can't find it. Who knows? It could be paramilitary training. It could be
top secret.
Secret.
Could be anything. Tonight,
as they say in the business, he's on assignment. Yes.
So yes, he's on assignment, and so you can look like Steve. You can dress up like Steve Robinson in new Maine Wire tactical gear that we are unleashing and announcing today. This is a different URL. So which one? What is this?
Yep. So at long last, the Maine Wire is unleashing some merchandise to buy merch, save Maine. You just go to mainwiremerch.com. You can kind of see it up there at the top, mainwiremerch.com. And it's a little bit of a work in progress, but we've got some good designs here that I think people are going to like. So we're debuting it for everybody here. This is our flagship, the Stop Communism shirt. That's available in a sweater or a tee, a couple different colors on that one.
Is that the Mount Rushmore of Maine communists up there?
That is, yep, that's the Mount Rushmore of Maine communism. There's the big four, and then we added in Ryan Fecta to kind of make it symmetrical. And he's a little bit of an angry communist himself, so I figured it worked. And then, if by huge popular demand, we have the Harriman collection, I'm calling it. This is inspired by probably the most famous piece of art in the entire state right now that the great, indispensable John Featherston uncovered. So we've got you can wear the artwork that is tearing up the streets of Lewiston on your back, thanks to the great Scott Harriman. And then the front, there's a little Scott Harriman pirate design up there.
This is shrouded in controversy too, because I am demanding one of these with that big thing in the front.
We're going to get one in the front too. It's a full line, Tom. So right now there's a couple. There's a T-shirt. There's actually a pocket tee, which is pretty snazzy, if I do say so.
But that design, that logo up there, the Harriman logo, was the subject of a fiery memo that went out to the Lewiston City Council last week that John Featherston got his hands on. It's still up there in the mainwire.com.
Very fiery memo and a very fiery, stylish piece of artwork that I think if you're going to any event, it's going to be a real icebreaker, a real talking point. Like, speed dating, wear your Scott Harriman shirt. That's certain to get everyone going.
And by the way, this is our beta website. The website is in its beta form right now, which means you're getting beta discount prices right now.
Yeah, honestly, some of these may design, so you can think in like 100 years, 20 years from now, it's like an heirloom. Like if you go on Antique Roadshow, this is going to be kind of like the test print run. So it'll be even more valuable. This is basically an investment that you're making in this gear. And then, of course, we had a nice little Columbia jacket. Nothing too fancy with this one, just a nice Maine Wire logo, and then also says Maine Wire on the sleeve. But it's a good, high-quality Columbia jacket, so Columbia fleece. And then if you keep scrolling down, we got some bonus T-shirts here. We got the Comrade Bellows, one of my personal favorites. Shanna Bellows loves this artwork. She is a huge fan of this art. She's expressed that, so I'm sure she'll be very grateful if this one's out. And then an old design of ours coming to life. We got the Grand Plackner, the Reich choice for Maine. Maine's favorite Nazi. So that's a nice one for campaign season. Show your support if you're a Plattner fan out there. And I think that's pretty much all we got. We got a Troy Jackson for prison shirt that's coming too. That's pretty good. That'll be up later tonight. And then some of these, a couple of different colors, a couple of different variations. But yeah, the Maine Wire team has been pouring over some merch designs, and here's what we got so far. So definitely check it out. Good way to support the Maine Wire. People have been asking us to do this for like 2.5 years, and we finally got our act together and started pumping these out. Many thanks to Tom for really wanting one of those Scott Harriman shirts himself. So I was like, if we're going to make one for Tom, we might as well make it for everybody.
By the way, thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. You know, I do sell my own merch to my other podcast, the Burn Barrel podcast. where I've been hawking T-shirts and actually every item you can think of with Punch the Monkey on it. And the latest one has Punch the Monkey in a USA Hockey jersey. And I have moved exactly 0 units of either of these shirts. So I don't have the touch. I think you do, Graham. So we'll see. I look forward to it. Speaking of USA Hockey, those dudes are now at the White House. They have, if you followed social media, the USA Gold Medal Championship men's hockey team is now in Washington, D.C. They have been crushing beers now since about 10:15 this morning, which means they will be in excellent form for the State of the Union tonight. We do have I think we've got a little video of them, Matt, we can check up there just to show them. I think this is them and maybe walking around in the White House, or if it's a photo or whatever. But they like it there a lot. There's only one guy who didn't go, who knows why. But this team likes it there. And there's some video with Trump saying hello to them in the Oval Office. This is exactly, there he is.
Guys, I recognize every one of you. I know every one of you. You're big guys, son. Good. Thank you. Yes, my friend. You came a long way since I left. I know. I saw him, but it was peanuts. Now he's big stuff. Congratulations. So here's the deal, fellas. Come on in. So we have guys. I recognize.
So, can we just say that we just saw there with Trump, bringing in a world championship hockey team of like young, strong, tough fighters, and congratulating them and ribbing them a little bit? That is exactly what this guy wanted this job for. Mm-hmm. This kind of thing is exactly the patch on the back. It's like with Mar-a-Lago, you know, if he sees a rich friend of his with his wife, he's going to say, "Hey, Marty, nice to see you. And who's your daughter?" That's the kind of thing that Trump wants to be doing, that kind of thing. This is absolutely his element. And I think, Graham, I mean, you're a much younger guy than I am, that I think this is Trump at his coolest.
Yeah, because he's actually like a relatable, like down-to-earth guy who knows how to talk to people, unlike a lot of these politicians. That's like the experience had. Trump, people forget that like the Trump casinos, you know, everyone bashes on them, but they had some huge sporting events at the Trump casinos back in the day. And he used to hang out with Don King and Mike Tyson and a lot of famous athletes. And he actually flew to Japan for the Tyson Douglas fight. And then obviously he was big in WWE with Vince McMahon. He did stuff with the XFL. So like this is like just who he is. He's been doing this his entire life, and it's just he comes natural to him. And like Biden, which was like the most cringe thing you'd ever see whenever he'd do one of these, he'd say the same 4 lines over and over again. People would go and be polite about it, but it was just a ceremony, and it would be over as fast as they can. Like you can tell when Trump's enjoying something. And this is one of those moments when he's enjoying something.
Oh, yeah. And, John, I think that you see the guy here. You see the guy who wants to be. I've met Trump. I've interviewed him. So it was that relationship. It wasn't like meeting him behind the scenes, really. But I've seen him behind the scenes. He was back at at CPAP. CPAP is what I use at night. CPAC. And the 2015. And he was talking to a bunch of Boy Scouts and things. And I snuck behind the scenes I was going to ambush him, actually. It was an odd time. And he couldn't have been nicer. And if he has a germ thing, you couldn't tell because he was shaking hands, making sure everybody was okay. I know a Democratic consultant who met him at Trump Tower, and he and his cadre of other Democrats, when they met him, they were taken aback by how hospitable he was. He just kept asking if they were comfortable, what they needed to eat, if they wanted a reservation somewhere. Got to get you something to drink. How you do? Like, that's the guy right there. That's the natural guy, John, and that's a winning look.
Oh, he is a very nice person. I've met him a handful of times and have interviewed him as well. Actually played golf with him long before he was ever president. My father was big in the golf world when he was alive, and We played a round of golf, my father and I, with him in another celebrity tournament. He's a down to earth guy, you know. He's a guy's guy. He likes locker room talk. He likes banter. But you made the thing that this is the reason why he wants to be president. But you know what, Tom? More importantly, this is what America needs. Here you got young athletes who just won a gold medal with USA plastered across their chest, sitting in the Oval Office and proud and happy to be there. This is what America is. This is, I'm going to sound like an old man again, but this is what America used to be and what America needs to get back to. There's nothing wrong with being proud of being an American, and God bless them for highlighting this, and taking people into the Oval Office. And the women, shame on you. You should be there too. You should be there.
There's a problem. I mean, in this country, if you saw any of the Kelly Keegan stuff, there's like this thing with 30-something-year-old like white women in this country that just are freaking joyless. Oh, they're so joyless, and they should distance themselves from him. They should apologize. Just shut up. Guy was messing around. He's doing banter with a bunch of other guys. If he was talking to the girls' team, he would do the same thing with them. It's like if these people, the moment you hear somebody say, I wish the USA men's hockey team wouldn't so quickly embrace a pedophile, narcissist, racist. Oh, my God. Don't you get sick of saying those words in that order just because you've been doing it now for so long? But they're just not going to shake it, Graham. Too much of this country has just gone sideways. I think it's SSRIs and maybe birth control pills. I stole that from somebody else from Twitter today. But some people are just gone.
Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome started as kind of a joke, but now I think it's developed into like a legitimate, acute, serious mental health crisis that's happening, where it's almost like a heroin addiction, where these people need to be fed their MSNBC like copium Trump being bad takes every day, or they just need it to like sustain themselves. It's like food and water and Trump hate, and it's just broken people's brains, and we're watching it happen in real time with the situation. And like, this is the fakest, the least consequential controversy I've ever seen covering the media, where he was like, do you want to say it was a dumb joke for the president to make? I mean, I don't think it was, but maybe, sure. But to blame the hockey players 3 minutes after they just won the gold medal, what are they supposed to do? Like, condemn the president when he's on the phone in that locker room for that? Like, there's no chance it's ever going to happen. Anyone that's ever been in the locker room's heard jokes 5,000 times worse than that. Honestly, I don't know if you guys talked about this yesterday. I did think it was a little bizarre that Kash Patel was slamming beers in there, if I'm being totally fair. But what Trump did, it's not a controversy. It's just people losing their mind because it's Trump, and that's the only way to explain it.
Yeah, Graham. Go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say, Kelly Keegan, I find her extremely attractive, but I remember the one time she was on the Kirk Minahan show, and it's probably the only Kirk Minahan show I ever turned off and didn't listen to it in entirety, because I just can't listen to this, oh, the sky is falling, I am the victim, and just stop. And I don't know if you saw Portnoy go after her a little bit, but that was priceless though too. I mean, nice lady, smart lady, very attractive lady, but, be quiet. Stop.
Imagine having your day legitimately ruined because Trump said something on the phone to some people that's, like, not that offensive. Like, you need to have a real, like, just problem if you're going to let that consume your life. You need to find a healthier way to live.
Yeah, because your mind is looking and scanning for ways to be offended by this and to be hysterical, saying, oh my goodness, did the president do telephone calls to the men's gold medal locker room? Did he do that wrong too? Did he do that wrong to him? I will say, Graham, that I am with you. I didn't need Kash Patel to be there. Apparently they invited him, and the coach is like friends with him and they know each other. So like if they invite you down there, I didn't need it. I wanted this to be just those guys, it's their time. It's not the administration's really time, but I'm also I'm not offended or concerned about it.
No, I'm not offended. I saw that first from Kash Patel's Instagram, and I was like, why the hell is Kash Patel there? Yeah. And then CNN and everyone spins it, and because they're so annoying, I start just instinctively taking Kash Patel's side. But the first time I saw it, it's like, wait, is that Kash Patel in the locker room? It's just kind of a random thing, but I'm definitely not offended by it or anything.
No. So tonight is the State of the Union. The hockey team will be there, thoroughly inebriated. There'll be some other people there as well. None of the main delegation, other than Susan Collins, will be there. We have touched on this before. I have heard other Democrats say, you know what? I hate this president, but this is the people's house, so I'm going and I'm going to hear him out. And I think that's probably the high road. The main delegation has taken the low road, John, or I consider it the low road. What road is it?
It's the road to Patheticville. I mean, it's pathetic that they're not going to be there. And let me call this. I mean, my only interactions with Angus King have always been positive, and I think I said it yesterday. He's a nice person, but, he labels himself as an independent because he does, and we could talk about why he does. But if he's truly independent, he should be there tonight because that is the true definition of being an independent. He's not taking a side. He's there. He should be there tonight. And the fact that he's boycotting it shows his hypocrisy. Pingree, I mean, nobody's going to miss you, Pingree, because nobody wants you there anyway. But, go to your little party, go to your MSNBC little cocktail party and wallow in your self-pity. But then you don't represent me in Maine. Because if you're not there doing your job tonight, then shame on you. How many times have I sat in meetings over the years, being the only Republican in a room? But you go there and you do your job and you represent, and it's the old classic line: you keep your friends close, but you keep your enemies closer. Don't you want to be there, knowing, the Democrats, vilify Trump? Don't you want to be there and know what he says? And though I don't respect it, and it was an embarrassing moment in American history, I have more respect for Nancy Pelosi ripping up the speech. At least she went and sat there through it and stuff. Yeah. These people don't even have the courage to go into a room. You're asking for an hour and a half of your time, of your job, Go. And if you don't go, then you don't represent me. So,
well, John, let me follow up, come back at you with something, John, because you've opened my mind to another, I guess, conversation but it's a parallel conversation. Go there. Not only, why don't you go, if you're a Democrat, why don't you go there, get near the aisle, and shake his hand? Right. Maybe that'll imprint you onto his, in his mind. And because this is a guy who, if Democrats ever just wanted to work with him, he'd give away the store to get a deal done with Democrats. He'd be happy to do it. He's always been a president. If they wanted to, if the left wanted to get climate legislation, or if they wanted to get, they got the First Step Act because Jared worked with Van Jones and the administration, Van Jones approached Trump and said, hey, I need your help. And Trump said, you're mean to me on TV, but I'll hear you out. And Jared said, I think you should. This is a guy who, if they were serious politicians, if they really wanted to, the Democrats could have gone with half of their freaking agenda with Trump if they wanted to. But
a real quick story. Jim McGovern used to be a regular guest on my radio show. Probably appeared on my show more than anybody. And I don't agree with anything Jim McGovern says politically, but he is a nice guy. And I once said to him, because he was going on a Trump rant, and I said to him, Jim, why don't you sit down and have a cup of coffee with the president? Pick up the phone. You're a powerful congressperson. He'll take your call. I would never talk to him. I said, well, then, Jim, you're not doing your job. And McGovern hung up on me. Hung up on me. But Trump would love to sit down and have a cup of coffee with people he disagrees with. And that's what government needs. You need more people like, hey, I don't agree with the damn thing you're saying, but let's have lunch, let's have a cup of coffee, and everybody would benefit from it. But they don't have the courage of their convictions.
No, like Graham, you've seen like Kardashians being in the Oval Office, people who hate Trump, like on social media, he'll talk to. This is, for once, you've got the guy who will talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mom Donnie was in the Oval Office, had seemingly a cordial, productive conversation.
They text each other.
Yeah, and then Gretchen Whitmer had the famous binder incident where she held the binder up. But from all I've heard, it seemed like she actually got along pretty well with Trump in that. And it seems like Trump actually wants to do a lot for the auto industry in Michigan, and he kind of wanted to work with her. So he's demonstrated that ability time and time again. It's if you're a Shelley Pingree, you can't do that. It's like political kamikaze to seem to be friendly to Trump in their mind for some reason. It shouldn't be, but that's the way it is. You see it with I I've mentioned this before, but I just thought it was hilarious when she's like, I can't even get a call back from the Trump administration over ICE. Well, that's because everything that she's done has been post Instagram videos, just taking the most out of context, wild takes about how terrible ICE is, rather than like, hey, let's actually have a conversation and talk this out. As, hey, I'm going to make an Instagram video and then get mad when they don't do anything. Where Susan Collins, Trump, like a couple weeks ago, just made that True Social post firing off against Susan Collins, being like, she needs to be primaried. And then a week later, Susan Collins is working with the Trump administration on the ICE issue. And then Trump is in the office holding the MAGA hat. So like Trump can talk shit and then actually like make up a week later and be fine with it. That's something that these people on the left cannot do. And then one thing is Jared Golden not attending the State of the Union tonight is a little random because Jared Golden has really not been that anti-Trump, honestly. No. Golden is with Trump on tariffs. He is the only Democrat that's really supported the tariff regime. Or not regime, the tariff policy. So I don't really know why he's not going. I don't want to give him a pass because it's definitely his job to go there, but I'm going to give him like maybe a tiny bit of the benefit of the doubt that he has something going on, because he did say like, I'm going to watch it. I'm interested in the press. I'm interested in the State of the Union, but I'm just going to watch it from home. I'm not running for re-election. I'm kind of done with the whole thing. He should definitely be there, but I don't know. I feel like there might be something else going on in the background, but
maybe he's not door knocking for Scott Harriman in Lewiston.
yeah, maybe. The election results and that should be coming in soon, shouldn't they?
I'll be in Lewiston tonight, 8:00. Yeah, it should be an interesting election. I'll be reporting live from the polls. So
poll closed at 8, John, or 9?
8:00. 8:00.
Yeah. So I guess, Graham, maybe you've described the problem here already, especially with big blue state Democrats, is that you can't spend every single day sending out email blasts, fundraising against the Nazi, and then strike a deal with the Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the tough thing here. And we saw when Trump won re-election, all the media people like went down to visit him and they like caught hell for it. And Scarborough went down, and it's just these people are so full of it. They're just so full of it. I think for a lot of these Democrats as well, this is just another champ, and not Golden right now, obviously, but for others, this is just another fundraising haul. We're doing another thing to fight the Hitler. Please, $5, $10, whatever you can afford. I'm doing another thing. I'd like to be in the room, but I can't because this is extra special times where ICE is literally going from door to door. And by the way, they're going to be bringing a whole bunch of illegals there tonight, which to me shouldn't really be legal. I don't know how they're allowed to sit in the U.S. Capitol building, having gotten through there with obviously documents that through one phase or another were forged or stolen. But they're going to be there, so they're going to bring like their wife-beating pet illegal tokens with them tonight, John. And I know Trump's not polling great right now, but
yes, he is. Find me a poll you can trust right now.
Well,
find me a poll you can trust.
Well, he doesn't have. It's a valid point because there's no alternative. It's just referendum zone Trump. It's not like, okay, Trump, Kamala, Trump, Tim Walz, Trump, whatever. Anyway, but I don't think, John, that Americans like to see like this illegal activity, treated as a golden moment for the American experience.
Rubbed in your face, Tom, is what I would call it. You don't want Americans don't want it rubbed in your face. Now, listen, I'm the first person, and I've been saying it for 20 plus years. We need immigration reform in this country. I'll be the first one to say it. And it's no easy answers. But the fact that, what's his name from Massachusetts is bringing the kid, the volleyball player from Milford tonight to the...
Seth Moulton?
Yeah, Seth Mullen's bringing the kid from Milford tonight. Just rubbing it in everybody's face is, it's disgusting to me. And, listen, okay, this kid from Milford, the volleyball player, his father, left him high to dry. But the fact of the matter is the kid's not legal in this country.
Yeah.
And to your point, how do you get in, the United States Capitol for the State of the Union address if you're not legal? Like, I don't know. And it's wrong. It sends the wrong optic. Maura Healey inviting him to, up to Beacon Hill and, giving her rosary beads. And I mean, stop it. Stop. If Maura Healey walked into a church, the walls would start to bleed. Stop it. Cut it out. Stop it. It's all fake and it's all phony. And, it's I don't know. There's just no word, no clean words that I can say on Maine Wire TV.
Well, John, Seth Moulton is a closeted alcoholic, and I have it on very good authority from people I know that his staff is ready to revolt against him if his campaign picks up any speed against Ed Markey, because there are some very serious allegations of abuse going on among his former staff members. So,
wow,
just a little tease for the people out there, something to watch if Seth Moulton's campaign picks up a little steam.
Since when is that a black mark, being an elected Democrat, and why would you be a closeted alcoholic? Massachusetts
that's fair.
History of its senior senator being very out with their alcoholism.
He loves the dark and stormy, Seth Moulton, from what I gather.
Is this true? I've seen him out in Newburyport before. Is this actually some scuttlebutt, Graham, that you have?
This is some scuttlebutt. Matty Saloft in Marblehead, Massachusetts, famous for having the strongest dark and stormies, and I've heard reports of him being a regular at that bar on weekdays. So, just throwing it out there.
Wow, that would be interesting. I hadn't heard that. I can tell you one thing, that I've been to his office in D.C. We went with the Herald, Boston Herald, and he makes everybody stand up in his office. The guy at the front desk has no seat because it's the military, so he's like a hardo like that.
Oh, stop.
Also, when we went there in like 2018 or whatever, and he played totally dumb on Benghazi. And I was asking him, like, you don't think that there should be some justice, for what happened in Benghazi? He's Benghazi? Yeah, Benghazi. Ambassador died. A bunch of American, contractors died.
What
Doherty
difference does it make? Yeah.
died, who's from Massachusetts, and he's like, well, I wasn't really sure. Are you saying that we had that you think there was time for interventions? Well, fuck you, man. Oh,
come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, John, what do you got to hear from the president tonight? What does Trump need to explain to the American people or tell the American people?
The midterm elections are just months away, and Trump needs to tell people that, yes, it's taking longer than any of us want, but I am going to make America affordable again. Gas prices are coming down. Grocery prices are coming down. Wages are outpacing inflation right now. Be patient. Be patient. The policies that I've put in place, when you get your tax return in the next couple of months, it's going to be the biggest tax return you've ever gotten. Just be patient. Trust the process. And by the midterm elections, you're going to see a improved economy. You're going to feel it in your pocketbook. You're going to have more money in the bank. And just stay the course. Just stay the course. And I think that's all he really, really needs to focus on tonight. And he's going to talk about a lot of stuff, but affordability and what his plan is to get mortgage rates are down to record lows. I mean, right now they're down below 6%. Gas prices are down. I mean, everybody still goes to the grocery store and goes, how much? But, work on that. I'd like to hear him, do a grocery summit, pull in all the big grocery stores and go, what can we do to get prices down? The American dream is still out of touch for people, and housing is out of touch for people. He just really needs to focus on that, because if he doesn't, the Republicans aren't going to keep, control of the House and the Senate, and we're going to start talking about, Trump being impeached, next February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, John, it's interesting that you say that, because those are some real ideas. Actually, the grocery summit is a very smart idea. And by the way, I can think of somebody who's fairly recently unemployed, a grocery magnate here in Massachusetts, who might make a good grocery czar.
Mr. Damula, yes. Mr.
Yeah.
Damula, yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, he was Mr. Cheap Prices in the grocery store, and he lost his job for doing it. Man, what a story that could tell. Oh,
that's a great idea, Tom. I love that idea. That's a goosebump idea. I love that idea.
Well, I stole your idea and then modified it. So I went to China.
It's teamwork. It's teamwork. Yeah, teamwork.
Hey, one more thing, John. Another good thing, the thing that you said that I think is very notable is that tax refunds. You're right. People are going to get thousands of dollars right now because of the Trump tax cuts have been renewed. That's a huge thing for somebody like me with way too many kids. That's a different life changer every year. So that's great.
It gives you a little breath. It gives you a little, space. Yes, it's huge and huge in the Shattuck household. Yes, absolutely. And
Graham,
it's,
go ahead.
I mean, no, it's just a lot of people just haven't done their taxes yet, but I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised. And if you don't live in Maine, not paying tax on tips and overtime, it's huge, and it'll flow to your pocketbooks for the first time in 6-7 years. Yeah.
Graham, what do you got to hear?
I agree with everything John said. Trump needs to take the opportunity tonight to outline his wins in an understandable way that everyone who's watching is going to understand and be able to be like, okay, Trump needs to bang, 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 bang. This is what I've done. This is what I've accomplished. This is the way things are heading. Things take time. Not everything is happening right away, but the policy is in place. You're going to see this is the impact you're going to see moving forward. I think he's had a lot of wins, especially on foreign policy, but a lot of Americans just don't really care about foreign policy. That's just the way it is. And what happens in the Middle East, we don't feel here in America. So even if some of the things he's done over there has been incredibly impressive, touch on it, move on to the vision, what the big, beautiful bill is doing. A lot of people watching this tonight have gotten all of their info on Trump in the news just through the lens of the mainstream media, CNN. So this is his opportunity to kind of fight back and push back against that narrative on things like tariffs and stuff like that, and say, okay, ignore the noise, ignore the news. This is what's actually happening, and here's how we're going to deliver it.
Yeah,
It'll also be interesting, Tom. The amount of firepower we have in the Middle East right now is mind-boggling. I mean, we have massive buildup of the military in the Middle East. And it wouldn't shock me. I said this morning on the Ray Richardson show when I was sitting in on the Ray Richardson show. It wouldn't shock me at all if Trump says tonight, oh, by the way, Congress, because you're in the room, the jets are in the air and, we're bombing Iran tonight. I mean, the massive buildup that we have in the Middle East right now is something I've never, ever seen. Never, ever seen.
Trump would, as a TV guy, Trump would love the theatrics of being able to say or being able to go to a stealth cam of them over, Tehran or something. He'd be all for that. That is not impossible, but that he does that.
I think it's very probable. Yeah. I don't want to go to a war with Iran personally, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen. So,
the other thing I think he can do is reverse the discourse on law enforcement. I think that he should pick from the New York Police Department getting pelted by snowballs and ice balls yesterday by adults, by the way, college students and up, adults being assaulted. Mamdani not doing anything about it, saying it was a snowball fight. They just said that today. And Trump could once again highlight the work that ICE is doing in stopping sex trafficking and murders, gang violence, and all the other stuff. Now, they obviously, M. Snow in CNN, they're not going to isolate these cuts and replay them because they don't want to hear that. But if any of it can trickle to the American people, this push to call ICE murderers, I think he should smack down with some fervor these false narratives and talk about how just shamed people should be who have denigrated law enforcement, calling them murderers, whistling, and all this. If somebody can write him something that establishes him as the mature adult in the room when it comes to law enforcement, then that would be good, because this has been a stupid time, just a dumb time. It's not 2020 dumb, but it's been really stupid.
I'm watching that video of seeing those police officers just getting pelted. It made me insane. How can this be? And, this is, and I blame the Democrat Party for this. When you paint, crosswalks, defund the police. And when the president of the United States, Joe Biden, says, defund the police. And then he says, well, I never said that. Yeah, you did. He said it 100 times, defund the police. You've taken, respect out of what the police do. Can you imagine being a New York street beat cop? That's a hard job. That's almost an impossible job. And now you're getting pelted by snowballs and your mayor doesn't stand up for you? Time to find a new job, you know?
Yeah.
And every single person who is throwing a snowball at the cops would call the cops if they needed the cops. Like, you all know
100%.
that. Everybody knows that.
Great point.
There's a lot of cops out there in the world. If Trump takes the opportunity to really have their back, that I think is going to be a big political win for him tonight. I agree.
Yeah. Just another note too. If there are police dogs around, let's release about 500 of these things on these thugs. I will watch Columbia journalism students get ripped apart all day by German shepherds, and I will not lodge one complaint or be at all mad at the Montami's police for these like spoiled rich college pukes getting an ass kicking of the century. It would be so good. I actually get myself excited thinking about it. So I need to move on. But here's another thing I think that Trump can do. As far as anybody knows, this is my original thought, but I think that he can and should address AI. And now that you hear more apocalyptic things said about it, more apocalyptic narratives, he should talk about the risks and the benefits of AI and what our new world might look like in just months. That this crest could break. Incredible medical achievements, and obviously scientific and all sorts of engineering achievements here, exponentially improving lives of people in ways that we never thought would happen. And really, he should almost, if they can write it into his speech, he should almost act as a tour guide for Americans, saying, be calm, and this may make changes. There will be changes in the workforce, because now a lot of stuff that people are doing right now, 3 months from now, they're not going to be needed anymore because of this stuff. But there are going to be new opportunities. We need to think about these things differently. It also allows him to look at the institution of post-secondary education and say to the academic institutional juggernaut that has been way too influential in this country and minting little Marxists now for 50 years. I would love to see him really spend some time and showcase, skills, trades. We need to be doing that. Now's the time. So I don't know if that's something he's passionate about. I don't know how much he gets AI. It's probably something that's way more in J.D. Vance's wheelhouse or Rubio's wheelhouse. But, he got David Sachs in there, right? I mean, he could certainly, he's the AI guy. But I think that he should start mentioning it. Like, I think all of us in the last 6 months have been more affected by AI than we ever thought. I mean, certainly me as a tool in the last 3 months.
Yeah, I think Trump gets it, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Graham. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say he's invested, or the U.S. has invested a lot of money in AI projects in private and public cooperative and in partnership with the Gulf states. That whole trip over to UAE and Saudi Arabia and Dubai and Qatar, that was all about, or in large part about Dubai, or AI investments. I remember like 3 days after his inauguration, he held a huge press conference and they announced like Stargate, I think it was called, for the huge AI project with Oracle and what was it, NVIDIA, I want to say maybe, or SoftBank. And I remember just browsing CNN when that happened and a bunch of news sites, and that made absolutely no headlines. Excuse me, because I think it made Trump look good and no one was going to report on that. But he has been making massive investments in AI, and the United States being a leader in AI, I think would be a really good thing. And in connection with AI, obviously one of the big drawbacks is the huge increase in electricity that's needed to power these data centers. I think this is another opportunity for him to say, okay, windmills and solar panels have not worked. We've spent billions of dollars on windmills and solar panels over the last 20 years. It's the Democrats that have spent billions of dollars on that. Now we actually need electricity, and we're kind of screwed because we've wasted so much money. So that's potentially another win that he could target. I don't know if he'll go that into detail about it. I mean, he loves hating on offshore wind, and I think everyone agrees with him on that nowadays. So, if he does go to AI, that's something to maybe talk about. But I do think that's another win, another policy area that clearly the Republicans are on the right side of history on that one.
We have to win the AI race because our opponent, China, if China wins the AI race and we don't, we might not be the most powerful country in the world anymore. Because AI is going to change everything, and nobody really knows what the future looks like. But that's people are like, oh, why is Trump going after Greenland? Because of AI. Why is Trump cutting deals in the Middle East? Because of AI. Why he needs that investment money. He needs the infrastructure to do it. And why is Trump charging tariffs? Because we need the money to invest in AI. Because if China wins, it's not the same thing, but it's almost like the race to the moon. If the Russians do it and we don't, but it's the same analogy. We can't allow China to become the AI dominant because they'll take us over. The robots, have you ever watched Elon Musk's Optimus robots? They're not perfected yet, but they're pretty close to perfection. And they're gonna, you're gonna replace, housekeepers and drivers and all this other stuff. America has to win the AI race, has to run it. And I love what Graham is saying, that tonight is a good opportunity to say to people, we've wasted billions of dollars on windmills and solar farms. They don't work. But if you want to have a future in this country, you need to invest in energy that is affordable, sustainable, and available. That's the best thing. The reason why we're paying record prices in the Northeast is because it's not available. It's just because Maura Healey and Janet Mills have not made it available. There's plenty of natural gas in Pennsylvania. Long lifelines of natural gas in Pennsylvania. We just can't get access to it. So Trump has to acknowledge that tonight. I think it's a great point by Graham. Yeah.
Well, and John, if you mentioned wind, right now Nantucket is still frozen in from this storm, but out to sea are the wind turbines, and guess what they didn't do today?
They didn't turn.
That's right. Yeah. Can they turn sometime? Just for the hell of it. We had actually a wind turbine, John, near me in Newburyport, Mass, that they eventually just gave up and they've taken down now. It's been up for 10 years and mostly wasn't ever turning, and mostly was seeping stuff into the wetland, of course. And they just gave up and said, this thing just doesn't do anything. So
how effective were the solar farms in the Northeast yesterday during a blizzard?
That's a tough look.
They weren't. So
yeah. No, we've got one of those near me as well, near the school. And my kids asked me, how do they work when they're covered with snow? And I said, interesting that you should ask that question. Because not well. Not as solar panels anyway,
Not at all. Not at all. They don't work at all. Yeah.
So bringing it into Maine, MaineWire.com. Pine Tree poll shows bad news for Collins and Mills, good results for LePage, and gives Bobby Charles a massive primary lead. The latest Pine Tree State poll from the University of New Hampshire brought disturbing news for Susan Collins on Tuesday. Then it showed Graham Plattner with a significant lead in a Senate general election. The poll also revealed clear frontrunners in the Democratic and Republican gubernatorial primaries, and gave former Governor Paul LePage a slight lead against the 2nd Congressional District general election. But I can't read. Pollsters asked the group. So anyway, it's not good for Mills or Collins. And I am actually a little surprised that, and you don't know about these polls necessarily, but yeah, I'm a little surprised that Plattner leads Collins out and out at this point. I know it's
he doesn't. Janet
I'm
Mills
actually not surprised.
Always doesn't poll well. Yeah.
I'm actually not surprised by that. I think first of all, I think the big takeaway from this is the Maine Wire was right. If you've been watching this show, because Graham Plattner is routing Janet Mills out of the building. If this is football, it's 45-3 in the third quarter right now on this poll. Just embarrassing to only get to be down by 40 points when you're the incumbent governor, lifelong politician. That's almost hard to do. So her campaign's a disaster. In terms of Collins, she really hasn't started her campaign. She has started her campaign, but hasn't really ramped up yet. And I'd be lying if I said I was super impressed by the beginning of it, because I'm not. But there's plenty of time to go, and I think she's probably the horse that's slow out of the gate, but it's going to finish fast down the straightaway. But Plattner is running a good campaign. There's no way to say it. He's had some. He's basically unemployed and living on disability, so he's got the time to actually do the campaign full time. But he's running a good campaign, creative campaign, and I mean, I'm not surprised by the results on that.
Janet Collins is the best constituent services in the United States of America. You call her office, she gets stuff done for you. Her constituent services are the best. And to Graham's point, she really hasn't started campaigning yet because she's probably letting the dust settle on the Plattner Mills thing. I would agree that Plattner is running a very good primary campaign. But even Mayor Dion said it on Maine Wire TV last week. Okay, after the TV ads, what do you got? I don't think Plattner has anything, and that's where I still predict that Susan Collins will beat Plattner by 10 points. I really do. I think she will beat him handedly. Janet Mills' days in an elected office are long gone. Are long gone. You know, Janet, just bow out gracefully now, because the Maine Wires, we're going to find more fraud before the primary. We're going to find more fraud before the general election. Why don't you just do some smart stuff and just drop out now? Because like when we drop it, it's going to drop hard, you know?
You know, John, I think that's not a non-0% chance that she drops out before the primary. I really do. Like, how embarrassing is it to lose by 40, 45, 50 points in a primary when you're the incumbent Democrat? I almost feel like she'd rather bow out than suffer that humiliation.
Spend more time with the family, health concerns, something like that.
Exactly.
Yep.
How powerful is the state party, the state Democratic Party? Does Mills need the state Democratic Party's resources door knocking of prowess, lit dropping prowess? Does she need that machine, or can Team Mills just do it themselves?
Well, for me, I think organizations like the Maine People's Alliance are really the power centers rather than the Maine Democrats. However, they do kind of have a symbiotic relationship where they're different organizations on the same mission. But really, I think those kind of NGO groups they're better funded, and that's what they do full time. And the Maine Dems kind of maybe are the head of the octopus, but the people on the ground are the Maine People's Alliance people, and that's a force that shouldn't be underestimated. There's no one on the right that really has that infrastructure.
The Maine People Alliance has to be respected. I don't agree with what they do, but what they do is they're very effective at it. They are very good, and they do have a great ground game. But let's face it, Tom. Mills has the power in the checkbook of Schumer, and she's still not doing anything with it. She's just not a good. She's not a good candidate. She's just not. I mean, and she's not young. She doesn't know how to light up a room. She doesn't know how to do anything. Her success over the years has been that she's been able to bully people into doing stuff. You can't bully yourself into the United States Senate. You can bully yourself into a governorship, especially when you were a powerful district attorney. Absolutely you can, but it won't play in the United States Senate. And what are you going to do? You're going to bully Susan Collins, probably one of the sweetest, nicest people that you're going to. That would just be a horrible optic as well, too. So,
yeah, I guess that's the Cuomo example of being a thug only takes you so far in your state. Well, then let me ask the question a different way. Who is it that gets a university in Maine to offer Collins a presidency so that she'll give this thing up?
You mean Mills?
I'm sorry, Mills. Yes, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes. Who does that?
I think it's hard to put a name on it, but I don't know who
just to
is
kill Steve Bowden.
Yeah, I don't know who's funding Plattner's campaign, but there's clearly big money behind it.
Bernie Sanders.
Whenever there's big money behind it, there's movers and shakers that are going to be making offers like that. So all these organizations are connected. Someone will do something like that for sure. Some think tank maybe, or the college. Yeah.
Well, and Plattner's got the best. He's got the best, most simply streamlined campaign because it's the most fun because it's populist and it's simple. Military vet became an oyster farmer, now wants to make prices in life more affordable for you. And he's going and yelling at Hannafords for being expensive. That's nice and simple story to tell. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the Janet Mills story, and I'm newer here, but the Janet Mills story to me is not as simple oversaw corruption for 5 years. I mean, I don't know. She doesn't have a good story. His story's okay, and as a matter of fact, he talked to us, which is another thing.
Mhm.
He's not a total alien. And I mean, if you want to buy in for change, he's the change candidate, is he not?
Yes, he is 100%. And everything you said is true. To know Graham Plattner, and to be fair, he's a nice guy. He's a good guy. I've said it before. I've said it 100 times. If he was your next door neighbor, you'd be like, hey, he's a good guy. I don't agree with his politics, but he's a good guy. Come on over. Let's have a barbecue and stuff like that. He's a good guy. I just don't know. Just because you're a good guy, though, doesn't make you a United States Senator, though. When you're a United States Senator, you're one of 100 people in the country. And the most important thing that you can do is a senator is do what Susan Collins does. She gets things done. She works with people. She gets things done. Graham Plattner's going to run on a campaign of everybody in Washington sucks, and now I'm a senator. And well, how come these 99 other people don't talk to me? And he's going to be sitting in a corner all by himself, not getting anything done. Meanwhile, Collins, who controls the checkbook in America, if she doesn't win, and I think she will, but if she doesn't win, Maine is going to have huge impacts because Collins sends so much money to Maine just by being on the Appropriations Committee. And you have to think about that if you're a Maine voter and you're on the fence. Who am I going to vote for? Collins is the 5th most powerful person in the United States of America. Graham Plattner will be the 100th of 100 people in the United States Senate if he wins. I'm not saying he can't move his way up, but Susan Collins is already at the top. So Maine has to really think about that.
Yeah, it's up to the Collins campaign to articulate that message, though. And so far, I don't think unboxing videos where she's holding a shoe is really effective at doing that.
It wasn't a great kickoff. No, it wasn't a great.
No, you're right. I mean, it takes a certain amount of cunning and craft to be an effective swing vote. When you're 49, 50, or 50, that is huge power. She also was in the what's the committee that does Supreme Court judges? She was also a good swing vote there, I think, too. Is it the oversight committee? No, it's not. Anyway, she was on the committee that oversaw Kavanaugh as well. And I think she was integral into him getting greenlit through committee as well.
Yeah, she was, and that's one of the big attacks they have going against her. But, in terms of conservatives, I think Kavanaugh is generally one of the most well-liked judges. So I think that she's got some potential to turn that around on its head, maybe, if she wants to.
It will be fascinating. You bring up the Supreme Court, and we didn't talk about it earlier, but it'll be fascinating. When you go to the State of the Union address, who sits in the front row at the State of the Union address? The Supreme Court. So right. Will Trump take a shot at the Supreme Court over the tariffs tonight? Because he's in I hope not. I hope not either, but it'll be interesting to watch because they do sit in the very front row.
Himself, yeah, he's going to look at ACB and he can't help himself. I feel like that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, he said they were a disgrace to their families. This guy has a love affair with tariffs. The concept of tariffs, he loves it. He is personally offended that they did this stuff with him. I hope he can cool it and not put them on blast right there. It's a bad look. I mean, we're lucky to have a court that's this conservative or this originalist or whatever you want to say right now. And I just think it would be a waste of ink. And that's the thing that CNN will run with. That's the thing that media, supposedly in the middle, will absolutely run with happily, including the Wall Street Journal's editorial board, will run with him blasting the judicial branch of the country and telling Americans just how destabilizing this is for our precious, fragile democracy. And we get enough piling on with that stuff. We don't need any more.
I think the Supreme Court actually did him a big favor because I don't disagree with what the Supreme Court said. They didn't say you can't do tariffs, Mr. President. You just can't do it the way you're doing it. But more importantly, what they didn't say is you got to give the money back. And they're not going to say that. And that's going to be litigated in the courts, and that's going to take decades to do. FedEx is now saying, oh, we want our money back. Okay, well, good luck with that. You're not going to get it. Because tariffs are part of, national security. And Trump's just going to find other ways to do tariffs. And if you look at the revenue that Trump has brought in with these tariffs, it's mind-boggling revenue. Yep. And I don't think you're going to find and I mean no disrespect to any of us here, but I don't think anybody truly understands all the mechanics of how the tariffs are working. But you can't deny that they're working, and it hasn't affected the economy like everybody said it was going to affect the economy. But we've been able to pay down debt. We've been able to put money towards other things. Keep it going is what I say, Mr. President. Keep it going. And you know, if the prices do fall and we're still putting tariffs on people, I think it's great. I think it's great.
So, John, does he blast the Supreme Court tonight? Yes or no? We'll do our prop bets.
I don't think he can help himself, and I think he will take a shot at him. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I agree. I don't think he can help himself either. He might not plan on it, but he'll look at them sitting in that front row. He'll just make he'll do a weave, and he'll start making fun of them, and then go back to his prepared remarks.
And it matters. He may be in a good mood, so he may do it still with a smile. You know, it matters. I think that with the USA, with the hockey team being up there, I assume being somewhat vocal as well by this time tonight, certainly. That might just put him in a really good mood, and we'll see. Also, if he has a bunch of back and forth with hectoring Democrats, which he's happy to do at any time. Which actually, to his credit, Biden wasn't bad at either. Actually, when he was yelling at Republicans in the chamber. All right, I want to get to a remarkable political moment before we go. Here, this is Governor Gavin Newsom sat with, I think, the mayor of, I don't even know, this guy's the mayor of somewhere, in a room that I'm told was quite diverse. And he made a point about his intellectual prowess. And I want to go over the strategy behind this thing. This is, Matt, this is in our, in Maine Wire TV. This is a beautiful, just a beautiful piece of history.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech. Because I cannot read a speech.
It's like you.
Maybe the wrong business to be in.
So this is, as Matt Walsh put it in his great podcast, essentially what he said is to this audience, many of whom are minorities, is I'm retarded just like you. It's just I think that's remarkable. Just a remarkable thing to have heard. Graham, what was his intention, and what is the real life fallout of this?
I mean, the guy's a snake oil salesman. He always has been his entire life. He's relied on his looks and his charm and his charisma to get everywhere rather than any substance behind it. And, you know, this is what he thinks he's being slick here and relating to the audience and just completely unaware of the implications of what he was saying. Total cell phone. There's nothing worse, though. I don't know if you saw this one, Tom. The video where he's in China and he just dribbles right into the guy's chest and then like starts spanking him. That's one of the weirdest videos ever, and I think that one's way worse than this one. But the total sleazeball, total scumbag, Gavin
Newsom. Please allow Gavin Newsom to be the Democratic nominee for United States president and have him have to debate J.D. Vance. Please let that happen. Like, can you imagine? Vance will wipe the floor with him.
I agree with that.
The communication strategy on Twitter where he's trying to be like Trump is not working because it's just not funny what they're doing. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's just not working, and I don't think that's impressing anyone.
Yeah, because Trump has changed the template to make it okay to give the double middle finger and say whatever you want to. When they do it, it's unnatural and awkward. It's like, don't just do the thing that you do before Trump made you try to emulate him, where a bunch of you guys get together in a conference room and say, like, what would Trump say that would get under our skin? Let's do it to him. You got to be the first guy. You can't be the knockoff. Becky says, I don't watch the president speak to see what's there. I listen to the president speak so I know what he actually says, not what someone else tells me what they think he did. I would say, Becky, with Trump, it is a show. So he expects you to be watching too, and that's all part of the show. But I get it. I do, and I do respect not being spun by the spin room. Yeah, but as tough as that can be sometimes. Yeah, no, I definitely think that no matter what it is, Trump is good at the State of the Union. These are good nights for him.
How long do you think he'll go tonight? You think he'll go like starts at 9? I think he goes to like 10:45. But
yeah, I was going to say 10:30. Yeah, it's going to be long. It's going to be long. He's into it. Republicans are. I think that they're going to. They've seen now that the Democrats, so many Democrats are going to sit it out. That they want the Democrats to be seen as having abandoned something good and decent. This is a good and decent pep rally, and the Democrats can't be bothered to be there as sick children and Olympic gold medalists are appreciated and introduced to the world. So I think that would be part of the equation. So I think that's why one of these will go long. All right, we'll be watching tonight. We will talk about it tomorrow. John Featherston, always good to talk to you. Graham Pollard, excited about the new store. Where do people go again to get their early merch?
MaineWireMerch.com, and we'll put a link up right after the show ends. So you can just go right there from our social media.
Here we go. And do I have a discount code used? You put Graham in?
Actually, that's a tremendous idea. Use code Graham. No, it's not available yet, but we'll probably work out some special details. Like I said, it's a little bit of a work in progress, but we wanted to get the Harriman shirts out as fast as we could, so Tom can wear one on the show. So figured we might as well get it out to everyone else while we're doing it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Once again, John Featherston, Graham Pollard. I am Tom Shattuck. We will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m.